Hello everyone, in this tutorial I'll show you how to install Red Hat Linux 6 Enterprise Edition. So what I've done, I have just make a virtual machine and I have even mapped the CD. So let me power on this machine. The machine is on now. Let me open the console. The CD is not mapped. So I'm trying to map the CD. This is the CD. Now CD has been mapped. Let me make this as full screen. So let us restart the system. Yes. So this is the first screen which you get. The first option we use when you're installing Red Hat Linux for the first time, or if you have Red Hat Linux 6, 5 and you want to upgrade it to 6, then you use the first option. The second option you use when you want to install VGA drivers, and third option when you use when your installation or your operating system is corrupted, it's not coming up. This like boot from local drive, and this is memory test. So in this case we are going to install Red Hat Linux Enterprise 1 6 version for the first time. So we'll go with the first option. Now this is like Red Hat installation has spawned a media, and before installing from this CD or from this particular media, you can check whether all the particular files are available or not. Generally in Windows we see that after completing certain installation like 70% or 80%, you get one error saying that file is missing. To avoid those errors, Linux has given a very beautiful option, that is media test. Before installing from this media, you can check whether all the files are working or not, or whether all the files are present or not. So I'm sure that all the files are present and this media is good. So I'll skip this one, and if you want to check you can click on OK. So skip. This is like welcome screen. Click on next. This is your language selection. My language is English. I'll go with English. This keyboard layout, US English. Then you got two options like basic storage device and specialized storage device. If you're installing Red Hat Linux on your hard disk, then go for the basic storage device. If you're installing Red Hat Linux on, if you have SAN, that is storage area network in your environment, then you can go for that option. But in my case, I don't have SAN, so I'll go with the first option, that is basic storage device. So this is like formatting. Yes, discard my data. Now you can configure the host name here. So we'll say this as Arch Networks. Yes. And you can even configure network here, so that if while installing this, if some packages are missing, that will be updated. So in this case I want to configure the network here itself. I'm looking just for the installation of Red Hat Linux 6. Then we click on next. Select the country time zone. In my case this is India, Kolkata, Asia. Then click on next. And this is like root password. Root is similar to administrator in Windows. In Linux, root is the super user. So we'll use a password capital REDHAT, Red Hat. And this is one more time. Now this is just a warning that the password which you are using is a weak password, is a dictionary word which can be easily attacked. But in this case, I just want to use this one. Now you got some bundle of options here, which is the first option. Use all space is going to use your entire hard disk for this particular operating system. So Red Hat Linux will be installed on your entire hard disk, and if you have some Windows partition, that will be cleaned up. The second one is like on your hard disk there might be multiple operating systems, and it is going to detect the Linux and it is only going to replace the Linux one. Shrink current operating system. This means that before you have installed Red Hat Linux on the entire hard disk and you want to free up some space, you might be looking to install some other operating system, then you can go for sharing current operating system, which is going to free up some space. Use free spaces like it is going to use the available free space on your hard disk. And create a custom layout is you are going to design what kind of layout you want. Now this is my hard disk, it's got 16 GB, and let us create a partition here. Now when you are creating a partition, again you get three options here: standard partition, RAID partition, and LVM. Standard partition, it's like when you have one hard disk, you can go for the standard partition. RAID partitions, it like you have multiple hard disks and you're looking for backup and recovery kind of things. LVM is like when you need more hard disk which is not currently available in the market. So what you can do, you can take 3 4 physical hard disks or 2 3 physical hard disks. You can logically make a group and represent it as one hard disk. For example, I need 5 TB of hard disk which is not available in the market. So what I can do, I can purchase a 3 TB and plus 2 TB of hard disk. I can combine them logically. Two system, it looks like one hard disk. So in this case we have only one hard disk, so we'll go with the standard partition. Now in Red Hat Linux, the most important partition is the root partition. If you create this partition, all the partitions will be placed under this one. So this is the topmost partition in Linux, and this is for your operating system file. This is for users, temporary files. This is for like whatever the application, default application you're going to install. It will be placed under USR, stands for Unix System Resources. This is your variable folder directory which contains logs, print queues, and this is optional. Like whenever you install the third-party applications, it will be placed under this directory. So as if now I'm looking for installation of this one only, and we'll give the size as we'll give the complete size. Okay. Now it is also recommended to create a swap partition. Like for example, right now the RAM size which I gave to this particular machine is 8 GB. Now if you want to create a swap partition, swap is like your virtual RAM. Once your RAM gets filled up, then the system is going to use space from your hard disk. So this is the procedure to create the swap file system, and select the swap partition here. And it should be always twice of your RAM. But in this case, I'm not interested in creating a swap partition, so I'm not creating. But those who of you who want to create a swap partition, you can create in this way. So these are the two most important partitions. The first one is the very important and the second one is recommended. So once you install this partition, select this partition and click on next to install the Red Hat Linux on this one. This is like all your contents will be erased, and this is like just a warning. Swap partition has not been created and it is recommended to create a swap partition. So just we would like to proceed and we would like to format this one. Now this is like a confirmation for you that whatever the partitions you have designed, still those partitions have not been reflected on the hard disk. So if you want to make those changes, just click on write changes to disk and those partitions will be written on the hard disk. So now you can see that the file system is being created. Your disk is being formatted. So this is the bootloader. Install the bootloader, click on next. Here you have some bunch of options again. Like you have not decided to make this server as web server, DNS server, anything. Then in those cases you can go with the basic server. It's like just it will install the operating system related packages, the necessary packages. Any extra or additional packages will not be installed. But note that after completion of installation, you'll be having only CLI option. You cannot operate this machine in a graphical one. This is for database related, this is for web based, and if you want the graphical option, then select the desktop. This is like a server with a graphical option. So we'll go with this option, then we'll click on next. Now all the packages, so desktop related server packages will be installed so that you can operate this machine in a graphical way. And this is I'm installing this on a Xeon processor. So that's the reason, like, the speed is good. But when you install on your laptop, the speed might be a bit slow. So I don't think so it's going to take a long time. So till it completes the installation, I'm not going to pause this video. So like all the packages are installing here, are being installed here, and now whatever the steps that we have performed before this screen is called as pre-installation steps. Like the installations, those steps have been performed, pre-installation steps. Now what are the steps that will be performing after this screen? Those are called as post-installation steps. And those who of you who are going for Red Hat administration courses, and like they might be practicing a lot of servers, so for them I recommend to go with 15 GB or 18 GB at least of hard disk, and plus 2 GB or 3 GB unallocated space, so that you can practice for LVM RAID in your virtual environment. So seems like it is going to take some time. So till it complete, I would like to pause this recording and I'll get back once all the packages are installed.